In this video, improve your English and gain experience by listening to a speech about an interesting topic. Hi, I'm Eric. Welcome to We Do Topic Talks. Topic Talks is where I make a speech about an interesting topic. This is made for people who want to improve their English. You can listen to my example and then try to answer a few questions at the end of the video. Today's topic is an interesting museum. Choosing only one museum to talk about is a little bit difficult for me because I love museums. I have many favorite museums. I've been to a lot of museums around the world too. Especially when I was in college, I used to go to the Getty Center. This is a museum of art in Los Angeles. I used to go there regularly. If I could, I went almost every month. I also used to travel a lot more than I do now. And whenever I would go to another city or another country, of course, I had to visit the local museums. But I think museums really started to seem special for me when I was young, still in school, because it was a lot of fun for me in those school days to go on field trips. And field trips in elementary school or junior high school often included a tour of a special museum. When I first considered this topic, the first museum I thought about was the Air and Space Museum near Washington, D.C. This museum collects and displays some of the most important and coolest airplanes that explain the history and the development of flight technology. It also has the rockets and spacecraft from the early days of spaceflight and the race to the moon. These are the actual airplanes, the real things, not models. So it's a pretty cool museum. Actually, it's a little scary too, because the history of airplanes, which I really love, is closely related to the history of war. The Enola Gay is there as well. This is the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, the first atomic bomb in history to be used in a real attack on a civilian population. So, I guess technology can be cool and smart, but it can be terrifying and sad also. But for the rest of this speech, I have to talk about my hometown, Los Angeles, and one of the coolest and most exceptional and unique museums I know. And I think it might be something you've never heard of. It's called the La Brea Tar Pits Museum. This is a kind of natural history museum, meaning it focuses on the history of life on planet Earth. Natural history museums teach us about the plants and animals that used to exist before human beings arrived. I've always been fascinated by dinosaurs and other ancient animals, and I've often dreamed about these animals coming back to life, like in the Jurassic Park movies. La Brea means tar in Spanish, which is not surprising because many places in California have Spanish names. This museum was built next to a tar pit. What's a tar pit? This is a lake of tar, and tar is oil, dark black sticky oil that comes out of the ground. Try to imagine a lake that's filled with oil instead of water. Tar pits are not so common, I think, but they do appear naturally. Usually, oil is trapped under the ground, but sometimes it comes up to the surface. And like it did here in Los Angeles, it came to the surface and created some traps of oil, or tar pits. And it has been here for millions of years. Animals sometimes don't understand that this is not a normal lake. and the tar pit could be covered with leaves and grass, making it hard to see. Then the animals come too close, and some of them walk into the tar, get stuck, and never get back out again. They eventually die, and their bodies sink to the bottom of the tar pit. When an animal died near the edge, other animals, predators, would come and eat the dead animal, and sometimes they would get stuck in the tar also. So a tar pit could be a really dangerous trap for a lot of animals. This isn't water, so their bones aren't destroyed. The tar actually preserves bones very well. As a result, this place has been extremely important for scientists like paleontologists for a long time. So they built a museum next to the tar pit where they display their many important discoveries. This museum has the best examples of some of the most interesting and unique animals that are now extinct. You can see real mammoths, saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, giant sloths, and so much more. Actually, maybe every kid in LA remembers their first visit to the museum. They remember when they first saw the tar pit in front of the main building. It's not only memorable because a tar pit is something unique, the weird lake of black oil, but there's something else that's a little scary for kids. The museum built a model of a family of mammoths who are getting stuck in the tar. The father mammoth is in the tar and he looks like he can't get out. He's calling out for help as he sinks into the black oil. The mother mammoth and the baby mammoth are on the side of the lake calling out. They seem to be panicking, sad and afraid. If the baby takes one step forward, it will die in the tar with its parent. It's a shocking display that becomes a kind of trauma for every kid that sees it. I recommend you see it for yourself. After that, when you walk through the museum and you see the real bones from millions and millions of animals that have died in this tar pit over the years, it makes a big impact. Anyway, like I said at the beginning, many school kids in Los Angeles must visit this museum on a school trip. It's like a part of our education. And all of us feel a great impact. It leaves a big impression. Most of the kids are curious, terrified, saddened, and fascinated by the experience. Please visit this museum if you get a chance. But right now, while I'm making this video, you can't visit the museum because we're in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. Of course, at this time, a lot of restaurants, stores, hotels, and other businesses are suffering. But museums are suffering also. So please check out their website and show them that you're interested in learning about the history of planet Earth. They have a great website. Right now you can see some detailed images of a mammoth skull that they're currently working on, learn about other tar pits located around the world, and find out what Los Angeles looked like before it was Los Angeles. It was an oil field. And at the website you'll learn about all the discoveries they've made over the years. It was voted the coolest museum by Time magazine for kids in 2019.
Questions 1. Fill in the blanks with the correct expressions. If you would like to try to answer these questions, you can just pause the video and take a few seconds to try. Then, when you're ready, I'll give you the answers. Are you ready? Here are the answers. Number 1. The history of airplanes, which I really love, is closely related to the history of war. Number 2. Natural history museums teach us about the plants and animals that used to exist before human beings arrived. Number 3. I've often dreamed about these animals coming back to life, like in the Jurassic Park movies. Number 4. The tar pit could be covered with leaves and grass, making it hard to see. Number 5. If the baby takes one step forward, it will die in the tar with its parent. Questions 2. Match the words that have the same meanings. One more time, here are some questions you can think about. If you would like to try to answer them, just pause the video and take a few seconds to try. Then, when you're ready, I'll show you the answers. Ready? Here are the answers. Number 1. When I first considered, pondered, thought about this topic, the first museum I thought about was the Air and Space Museum. Number 2. The history of airplanes, which I really love, is closely related to, tied to, linked to the history of war. Number 3. The museum built a model of a family of mammoths who are getting stuck, mired, trapped in the tar.
So that was my speech about an interesting museum. It's not a hard topic, but there are so many cool museums in the world. I would love to hear about a museum that has made a big impact on you. And if you know about a museum that you think everyone in the world should know about, please leave a comment below. Feel free to participate in the conversation. I hope that by listening to me talk about my own experiences, it becomes a good learning opportunity for you. And maybe you can get some ideas about how to tell your own stories. To improve your English speaking ability, you need experience and you need to practice. But for now, please push the like button under the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Thank you.